So now we have our interaction trace. We know how it works, what it can do. So now let's actually create some actors that we can interact with. So I'll just do control space. I'll go to contents, main, and I will create a new folder called interactable actors. Okay. And let's set this color to blue, something like that. Okay, and now we can go into this folder, and I will just create blueprint class. We will create like a simple cube just to show you how this will work. So let's just create blueprint class. Let's create the actor and call this BP test. Okay, now let's open it up. Before we will do anything in this blueprint, I want to show you something called blueprint interface. So let's create one, and then I will explain what it does. So let's do control space. We can go back to main folder, and we will create a new folder called interfaces. Also, we can set its color to blue, and inside this folder, we will just right click blueprint and blueprint interface. I usually call them BPI underscore something, and this will be blueprint interface interaction. So BPI underscore interaction. And let's open this blueprint. If you open this blueprint interface, it will create a function automatically. So let's call this function on interact. So let me explain what blueprint interface is. Every single blueprint that we will be able to interact with will have this blueprint interface. And in our line trace right here, we will check if the actor that we're hitting with the line trace does have blueprint interface. If it does have blueprint interface, then we know that we can interact with this actor. If it doesn't have, we know we can't interact with this actor. So for example, if we look at the floor, it doesn't have any blueprint interface. That's how we know we can't interact with this floor in any way. But if we look at the door, for example, and this door contains blueprint interface interaction, we know we can interact with the door. I know it might sound a little bit confusing, but I will explain everything in a second. The last thing that we need to do in this blueprint interaction is to add an input. And this input will be player. And let's change this to BP player object reference. Compile, save, and we can close this blueprint interface. That's all we will do. We can't even do anything in this graph because this graph is read only. We can just add some functions, and then we will fire these functions from this blueprint interface with our interaction system. Let me show you how we can do that. So we will go back to our BP test. We will just add some shape like cube or something that just so we can see this. Let's compile, go to level testing, and we can go to our interactable actors, grab this cube. It is pretty big cube. Let's make it a little bit smaller. So let's type 0.5, compile, save. Let's go to our level. So we have our cube in the world. Let's see what we can do with our interaction trace, interaction interface, and this cube right here. Let's go back to BP player, and we have this line trace. We talked about how it works in previous video, and we have this hit actor. So this value just gives us a actor that was hit by our line trace. So what can we do is, first of all, let's store this as a variable. It will be pretty useful later. So let's just click promote to a variable, and let's name this selected actor. Compile, and let's move it up here. Because if this is true, if we hit something, then we want to set the hit actor as our variable. But if we do not hit anything, we just want to clear this value. So we are setting it to nothing. This value will be empty. And now with this value right here, the selected actor, we can do does object implement interface. That's what I was talking about. We can see if the selected actor does have blueprint interface interaction. So let's search for BPI interaction. Okay. And now we need to do branch because this is Boolean. So first we are saving this head actor as a variable, and then we're checking if it does have this blueprint interface interaction. If it does have, we can do something, and if it doesn't have, we can do also something. So let's just destroy actor for now. And the last thing that we need to do is go to any interaction object that we want. So we only have BP test for now. And we need to go to class settings. And here on the bottom, we have implemented interfaces. And let's just search for our blueprint interface interaction. And now, as you can see, this interface was added, and we have this on interact function that we've just created here inside this BPI interaction. Let's compile, save. So let me show you, let me explain once again what this code will do, and then we will see if it actually works. So let's go back to BP player. So we're doing this line trace. We are saving the hit actor as a variable. Then if this actor has blueprint interface interaction, then it will just get destroyed. And the only actor in the world that has this blueprint interface is this cube. So let's just play. When I look at the floor, nothing is happening because this actor does not have blueprint interface. But when I look at the cube, it destroyed the player because I forgot to plug this actor here. This should be destroyed, sorry. Now I look at the floor, nothing's happening. But when I look at this cube, it just disappears because it did have this blueprint interface and it just worked. So let's delete this destroy actor. We don't want to destroy it. Later, we will assign some key for interaction, for example, E. So when we press E, we want to get this selected actor variable, and then we will just fire this on interact function inside this blueprint. And that's why blueprint interfaces are great, because we don't need to use any casting, and we have communication between two blueprints, between our player and our interactable actor. And it's also super efficient.